Top of the morning to you. Happy Tuesday, I dare say, the 4th day of August in the blessed year 2026. You're welcome to our morning ride. My name is Francis Ofulue, saying this welcome again on behalf of the board, management, and staff of this beautiful place called Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba. And with me is nobody else but.
Oh, Gaga. Good morning, Francis.
Good morning. I'm great. I was looking forward to that.
I know. I knew that's how it is.
I had to wait for it. I had to wait for it. Happy Tuesday to you.
I wish you same. How's your week been? Or is it too early to ask you how your week has been?
It's always busy. He's never going to stop. Always very busy, and we can't even stop. Yesterday was also one very busy day for Delta State. It was the kickoff of the Delta State Economic Investment Summit, where we saw many giants come around and render one or two opinions as far as the summit is concerned. We shall talk about that. But while we even plan to talk about that, let's talk about something else that is unfolding that we are maybe not paying attention to. It's next year. And when it becomes January 1, 2027, the first scream will not be Happy New Year alone. The thought in our minds will be, this is the year of elections. And I dare to say that the months are closer to 2027. The whole things have been rising, situations, different people have been acting, politicians are waiting before the campaign. But how ready are you, our dear viewer, this morning? Are you ready for next year's election? I'm not talking about politicians now. I'm talking about you, the electorate. Are you ready for 2027 elections? I don't know. Ogaga.
Well, I think to simplify your question, do you have your PVC?
Yes.
That's it. Because if you don't have your PVC at this point, it's very, very sad. I feel disheartened and dampened morally when I hear Nigerians say that their votes don't count.
Yes.
And the analogy I give to them is that if your vote does not count, why do you think that politicians come out for vote buying? That's to tell you something. So it means that irrespective of what you think about the electoral process, your vote plays a role.
Yeah, it does.
At the most, your vote makes it more difficult for them to read.
Yes.
So if it was not important, politicians will not come out to spend monies to influence you. So if you've not gotten your PVC, it's so sad at this point in time. But if you have registered and you are yet to go pick up your PVC, do that.
Yeah.
Ensure, and also it's on us to sensitize people.
Yeah.
It's very important. That's why INEC itself has a department, voter education, because it is very, very important. And that's what I do also. And when we talk about sensitization, you don't have to belong to an NGO or say you want to put together a team. Just one-on-one. Your guy, your church member, your neighbors, colleagues, speak to them, ask them, do you have your PVC? Encourage them, because some persons, they do have their PVCs, but they do not intend to vote.
Yeah, they have it just in case there's trouble. As an ID card.
Yes, exactly. So encourage people, go out to vote, and also tell them that they should not allow themselves to be influenced.
Yeah.
Because some persons go out, they'll be like, they don't know who made up their mind the candidate will vote for. I totally understand if you're waiting for manifestos.
Yes.
But some persons, they want their votes to be bought. They're like, it goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So it's so terrible. They say, when I get to the polling unit, I will decide the highest bidder.
Or the closest relative. That's another thing that's going on now.
So different nepotism, different things and all of that. So that's why we're doing this. If you've gotten your PVC, you start listening to the manifestos of the different persons. So because some persons, they don't even listen to manifestos. They don't know what the different candidates have to offer.
That's why some of the spokesmen, because the president mostly work with a spokesman. I mean, when he went to Chatham House, he has to use a spokesman to speak on his behalf. Many of them always say that. Why you always talk about other candidates that you prefer? Have you noted that these other candidates had the same policies on their manifesto, especially the removal of fuel subsidy? And many Nigerians are not aware that their preferred candidates actually asked for fuel subsidy as part of their manifesto. The question is how they're going to manage the removal of fuel subsidy anyway. But exactly. They don't know. Nigerians need to be aware. And, something struck me when you said that if, the votes don't count, why do politicians spend more time campaigning and trying to influence votes and the rest of them? It's important to note that if you go to a place where people are very aware, sensitized about elections, there is little or no rigging whatsoever. A good example is if you go to Ikoyi, Lekki, those very organized areas of the elites, you'd find a peaceful atmosphere, an atmosphere where nothing is rigged, everything, the votes are counted and it's translated into whatever means of calculation, if it's bimodal, whatever means at all, it's calculated properly. But if you go to areas where people are not so aware, that's where you begin to see very heinous number of figures for the voters for your not preferred candidate. So what this means is that get your PVCs, be ready to go and cast your vote, be conscious, let the politicians know that you're conscious enough, and let them try to win you over. I say win you over, but in the right sense. Truth be told, I always have this philosophy that even if Nigerians come together to vote in the wrongest person, but the votes count, it's important to note that the same Nigerians can sack this erring person if they do not do exactly what is needed. And so what that translates into is that democracy begins to be what it is, where leaders are very sure that their first job is to work for the people. So whether they choose to use a very strong fist or they choose to be very soft, they understand that at the end of the day, the people will be given account of what they have done. That is what's most important about democracy. And we must hold it dearly by ensuring that we do not boycott, either intentionally or unintentionally, the forthcoming elections. If you've not gotten your PVC, I'm really pretty sorry about that. Very sorry about that.
It's so sad. And,
sad.
And the truth is that, like I always say, a nation is deserving of its leaders. We are a reflection. There's no way you want to talk down on the leadership. It tells you that majority of the citizens are a reflection of the leadership. Even the different ways we run our lives, activities, we behave at work, the way we interface with one another, we treat one another. You just so it shows that no, we deserve whatsoever we get. So ensure that you play the right role, you play your role properly. Don't discourage people because some persons, they are so terrible that beyond them not wanting to vote, they also discourage others. So
they remind them their vote's not going to count. They will talk about possible violence and say things that have not even happened, and they discourage people generally. I think that's a very wrong way to go about it. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that at all. But we're going to go to the streets right now and hear from the people. How ready are you for the forthcoming election? That's on Street Talk on Tuesday's Morning Ride. Stay with us.